We usually see kindness as something pure. When someone is friendly and easygoing, we don't really question it. But sometimes a person's kindness lands in a way that doesn't match the moment. Nothing is obviously wrong, yet there's a small tension in you that doesn't go away. You stay aware, without knowing why. You notice a bit of tension, like the interaction is polite on the surface, but not as straightforward underneath. Most people have probably met someone whose kindness feels a little different from the kindness they're used to. And it's not bad, it just feels different. There's something about the way they talk to you or hold the conversation that makes you a little more aware of yourself. You watch your tone a bit more, and you stay on the softer side of things. Being around them creates a quiet pressure you didn't feel at the beginning, and you slowly start acting in a way that fits them more than it fits you. So how does something as harmless as kindness end up shaping you more than someone who's openly difficult ever could? Most people don't really think of kindness as something that can influence them. It feels almost wrong to put those ideas together. But the truth is, kindness can guide people just as strongly as pressure does. It just does it quietly, without ever looking like control. One of the main reasons this happens is that kindness drops your guard fast. When someone is harsh, you feel it immediately, and your attention turns on. But kindness doesn't do that. It relaxes you, which feels nice, but it also makes you overlook things you normally wouldn't. When someone comes toward you gently, your mind assumes there's nothing to worry about. And once that feeling settles in, you stop questioning their intentions. That's usually the point where their influence starts to take space in the interaction, even if nothing obvious is happening. There's also something very human happening here, feeling like you owe someone something. When a person gives you attention or encouragement, even in small ways, you feel the need to return that kindness. You don't think about it, it just happens naturally. And the more they show that kindness, the stronger that sense of owing them becomes. You become more aware of how you act around them. You try to match the version of you they seem to appreciate, and you avoid moments that could make things uncomfortable. And that's where soft control begins. Not because you're changing who you are, but because their comfort slowly becomes the priority without you noticing it. What makes this even trickier is that people who use kindness this way usually aren't doing it on purpose. They're not walking around thinking about how to control anyone. They've just learned that being extra warm makes people open up and go along with things more easily. And once they see that this approach works, even without trying, they keep using it. Over time, you don't necessarily change your behavior for them, but you do start keeping the connection running in a way that avoids unnecessary friction. And after a while, the whole connection starts to revolve around keeping their kindness undisturbed, and the relationship tilts in their favor without either person ever talking about it. This doesn't make them villains. Most of these people genuinely believe they're being caring, but intention doesn't cancel out impact. If their kindness slowly changes how you act, it still functions as control. And because it's delivered softly, you don't notice it right away. You start second-guessing your own feelings, telling yourself it's not worth bringing up since nothing bad happened. And that mix of liking the person but feeling unsure around them makes it hard to understand what's actually bothering you. And the real reason this is hard to notice is because your mind isn't made to question kindness. It reacts to danger, not softness. So when someone is gentle with you, nothing in you sees it as a problem. Instead, you go back to what you were taught growing up. Don't make things weird, don't push back on someone who's being nice. And when that happens, keeping the interaction comfortable ends up feeling more important than being honest about what you actually feel. And when someone isn't direct with you and just shifts their energy a little, it becomes harder to stay firm. You feel the urge to fix the mood, even if nothing actually happened. You end up softening your responses or explaining yourself more than needed. And it comes from the habit of keeping things comfortable whenever someone is being nice. When you step back, it shows something real about how people work. We expect manipulation to be loud or obvious, but most of the time, it looks nothing like that. It shows up in calm, friendly, harmless ways, the kind you never think twice about. And because it feels comfortable, you don't question it, even when it's quietly guiding you in a direction you didn't choose. Kindness isn't always a disguise, but it can be used like one. This doesn't mean you should doubt everyone who treats you well. Real kindness still exists, but it shouldn't make you tense or careful. It should feel open. You should feel like yourself around it, not like you're trying to hold the interaction together. That's what separates genuine kindness from the kind that quietly expects something back. Things get confusing when kindness stops feeling natural and starts feeling like something you have to adjust yourself around. You can't always explain it, but you notice the shift. Something in the interaction doesn't feel as easy as it should, and you find yourself responding in ways that aren't fully you. Those small moments matter because they're usually the first signs that something underneath the softness isn't sitting right. So if you've ever felt uneasy around someone who treats you well, or their kindness feels just a little too controlled, you're not imagining it. Kindness can be real, but it can also be used to keep things exactly where someone wants them. Your instincts are allowed to speak. If something feels off, taking a step back doesn't make you ungrateful or evil. It just means you're listening to yourself. Kindness is powerful, and anything powerful can be misused. It doesn't have to be loud to move you. Sometimes it's gentle and patient, the kind that slowly pulls you into a version of yourself you didn't plan to become.